What's up, guys? I'm going to try to cover some how TV works, how TV is going to play in this end of days, how it played up to this point, and how it's involved. There's a lot to cover. It's kind of hard to keep it all on track from start to finish, so it's going to be kind of a little bit of jumping around, but I'll do my best to keep it, in a timeline. But if if you guys don't know what indoctrination is, it's being taught to live a certain way, a way that somebody else lives, not the way you live. They indoctrinate you into the way they live, into what they believe is right and wrong. And the Satanists, they teach that Lucifer is the true God and that Jesus is wrong because Satan or Lucifer, he wants to give you all the knowledge, all the things you're not supposed to have. He's the good God because he wants to give you all that stuff, power and magic and supernatural power. And Jesus wants to keep it all from you. He doesn't want you to know any of that stuff. So bear with me here, if you will, and think about this. So, in today's society, even back in the day, this happened, but even more today, you hear that there's nothing but broken homes, and the mothers are raising the child, single mothers, a lot of single parent households, and the father's either not involved or not involved very much, and so the child's home, gets home from school. Mother has to work all night. The child may have a babysitter, may be old enough to watch itself, But so the child has to do its homework, and then what's it do for the rest of the night? Well, nowadays more it's playing online, playing PlayStation, or doing whatever online that kids do now. But I know there's a lot more to do than we ever had. So, between the internet and the TV, who's raising this child? Who's teaching this child what's right and wrong? What is the proper way to treat people? To have a girlfriend, how to treat her, just everything. Who's teaching this child? Because the mother's barely home, and when she is, she's running around paying bills, getting laundry done, whatever. And the kid might be hanging out at another child's home who's got parents or a single mother that's very similar. She's out running around. So now you got two kids that basically home alone or unsupervised for the most part to do as they will and to learn as they will. And now with the internet, they can learn whatever. Funny part about the internet that over half of the money made on the internet's from porn alone. So if that gives you an idea on what they're learning on the internet. So if you guys haven't noticed, well, let me say this. So, from back in the 60s and stuff, you remember me saying about Project Paperclip where we got a lot of the Nazi scientists? Well, they taught the CIA how to do mind control and satanic ritual abuse, which is how they make these super soldiers. Basically, they make multiple personalities. The scientific community had no idea what it was. Russ Dizdar was the one that put a label on this, I guess you could say. But TV has an agenda just like everything else, and Satan is definitely in Hollywood. Hollywood, you either have basically either like Satanism, Scientology, or Kabbalah, which is just Jewish witchcraft, flat out witchcraft, but it's Jewish witchcraft. And that's basically what runs Hollywood, that and the gay agenda. If you haven't noticed, like TV now, it wasn't like this back when I was younger. Even when into my 20s and 30s, just recently, if I noticed TV getting this way. But like, they have in every TV show anymore, they have like gay couple, now it's a transgender person, and it's like it's thrown in your face in every TV show, or just hooking up, no marriage, no love or religion or anything behind it, nothing Christian like behind it, just worldly, live by the world's rules. Basically, it's do as thou wilt, which is the whole of the law. Like I said before, Anton LaVey, who created the Church of Satan in San Francisco in 1966, he said the greatest tool of the destruction of the Christian home was going to be the TV. Wow, did it work. And Aleister Crowley was basically the guy who set the guidelines for Satanism before there was an actual Satanism as a religion. This is all based on Aleister Crowley's teachings and whatnot. And Aleister Crowley always said, do as thou wilt will be the whole of the law. Basically just saying, if you want this, just go get it. And if you have to lie and screw somebody over and cheat and steal to get it, whatever. Who cares? You got what you wanted. So that's basically the whole idea behind Hollywood. If you haven't noticed, it's plain as day. Everything is about just, like I just said, do as thou wilt. And there's definitely a gay agenda. A lot of these TV shows, it's funny, like they have the kids teaching the parents because the parents are so they're bumbling fools, they're idiots. And the kids are so much smarter and mature that they have to teach the parents because they're just too stupid. There's nothing good on TV. Every TV show, even the ones that, pretend or put a good face on, even have stuff in it. And there's so much occultic symbolism. There's so much satanic stuff in these shows that we bring them into our houses. And like, the stuff I'm telling you is all the stuff that I've accumulated over so many years of paying attention to this stuff. I paid attention to this stuff before I knew why I was paying attention to it. It was just something I noticed. It wasn't something that I purposely set out to notice. I just did. And it's also a dumbing down. They say, I'd have to go back and look through my notes, but I go back to the Project Paperclip with the MK Ultra, like if you ever noticed, like the Britney Spears meltdown, the Shia LaBeouf meltdown, Mariah Carey's meltdown, like these are all malfunctions in their split personalities. And that's why you see these people do these strange things, like Britney Spears shaving her hair, or Mariah Carey taking her clothes off on TRL. And this is throughout everything: sports, music, TV, movies, anything Hollywood, I mean, this is even in country music, you just don't hear about it or see about it. And then, like, there's a hidden gay rapper thing. And, like, you guys can look any of this stuff up. I'm telling you, it's out there. Just search it. But there's also like Sean Puffy Combs, Puff Daddy, and like all them guys out there. Like there's this whole gay thing going on with them, and it's out there. You can look for it. Um, Hold on one second. I was just looking over my notes to see where I was at. Okay, so you also have corporate news. Like back in the day, you had John Wayne. Okay, he stood up for what was right. He was the good guy. He knocked down the bad guy. He was in the white hat. The bad guy was in the black hat. It was good versus evil. Now it's like evil versus evil, just a lesser evil of a worse against a worse evil, like the Dark Knight versus the Joker. The Joker was definitely evil and the worst of the two, but why do you think they call it the Dark Knight? Why didn't they call it the Holy Knight or the White Knight or the Shining Knight? No, it was the Dark Knight because it can't have anything that even comes close or resembles Christian or Christ or the light, because Satan is darkness, Christianity is light. And when I pray to be a light in a dark place. There's a guy from back in the 60s. He was part of like the 13th council, sorry, of the Illuminati, on the very top tier. His name was John Todd. He disappeared and probably was murdered or locked away in a psych ward and just shoved drugs down his throat till he was dead. If you type in John Todd on YouTube, you can hear his, like, all the stories that he has to tell about how this world works in Hollywood and all these other, things that are going on, music, whatever. And he says that even everybody that's on TV has to be a witch. You have to be a real witch, a doctrine witch, to be on TV. You can't even go on there. And there's a bunch of other stuff he'll say that explains a lot of this, but that's just one part of what I wanted to say. And another story he told was that when he got in trouble in the army, these politicians came to get him out. So then when he got home, talked to his mom, he said, "Oh, the politicians are with us." And she said, "Well, no, we just own them." He said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, they just do what we tell them to do." He was like, "So they work for us?" And she was like, "More like we just own them and tell them what to do. They don't get anything out of it." And this is true in politics, Hollywood, and one thing I've heard is that when these guys go out there, say a musician goes out there, or an actor, and they might not be that good. It's okay, say the musician's really good, but they're not willing to give in to this Illuminati, this satanic situation. They don't want to give their lives up. Well, they'll just steal your stuff and get rid of you. Or like, have you ever noticed how some of these actors get on TV or in the movies? Because like, yeah, they might act silly and be funny, but they're not that funny. Or like, you just watch them and you're just like, man, like, I could do a better job at acting than this guy. How did he get on TV? Like, I don't get it. That's because they're just willing to pay the price to be on TV. They're willing to give up their soul, their, everything. They'll get this kingdom on earth, but they won't get the kingdom after they die. They'll get something else, but it's definitely not a kingdom. And what they do, these Satanists, okay, so say the musician or the actor, they go out and they are willing to kind of, it's not just so cut and dry. Like, you go out and they say, you do this or that, or you're out, make a decision. They entice you. Oh, let's come hang out in Hollywood for, a couple weeks. I'll pay for everything. put you in the nicest motels, and take you all to the sickest parties and the clubs, and you'll be the talk of the town because you're hanging out with these people, and you'll get to know everybody. And as they're throwing money at you and women or whatever you're into and drugs and whatever entices you, they just keep pushing the envelope to where eventually they say, okay, so you wanted that role in the Lord of the Rings because everybody got rich on that. Oh, you wanted the role in the Lord of the Rings. Well, get down in this gay thing with this and do this. And I don't mean to be vulgar, guys, but like sometimes you just have to say what the truth is. So I forewarn you that this isn't pretty, but this is how it goes. So they'll say, get down and dirty with this gay child sex things, and then they'll get into like ritual killings, and sometimes they'll eat the kids. It's hard to talk about. It's so hard to talk about. These kids, okay, people want to know how they kill all these kids that are so involved in these satanic sacrifices and whatnot. And sometimes they're not always killed, but they're caged and kept for a long time till they're not useful anymore and they just are an adult now, but their minds are so jacked and split that they wouldn't be able to tell anybody the story they went through because it wouldn't even matter. It would be a mess. They wouldn't be able to tell the story to say where they came from or what happened. So they'll get you into doing this sick stuff, and then they'll get it on video. They'll record it. They'll definitely take pictures. They'll definitely get you hemmed up so to where they're saying like, all right, you're in now. You got what you wanted. You'll get your $40 million, movie role and all of the cushy stuff that goes with it. But if you ever go against us, or if you ever try to tell the secrets, we'll put all this info out on you. And, they get you to cheat on your wife or whatever they want you to do. They'll get you to do it and they blackmail you with it. And if you guys look up the 27-year-old club from Hollywood, you'll find that there is a theory. I mean, you can't really prove this, but it's definitely there's definitely a lot of traction behind this if you look into it. But so many people went out at 17 or so to Hollywood right when they're turning into an adult, and they go out and they give their soul up for 10 years of pure fame and fun and the lifestyle that everybody just dreams to have. And then for 10 years you sign this contract for 10 years. And then they believe that in 10 years they get out and get to retire or whatever. They die. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Go check it out. Everybody talks about like Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix, but like River Phoenix died in Johnny Depp's club. They believe that there might have been something behind that because the amount of heroin and stuff that was in River Phoenix's blood was just astronomical. There's no way a junkie could have did that much, let alone somebody that just did it here and there. So there's definitely something funny behind that. Even the Black Dahlia case from back in L.A. from way back. There was a guy who was a lead, a big LA detective who his dad was a pedophile and he was a doctor who did a bunch of like abortions and stuff for famous people. and he was in that clique, and he believes his father was the Black Dahlia murderer, and that all links back in with the Kabbalah and the Satanism. And it's if you haven't noticed, everything that you're seeing on TV is just flooding right out into the way the kids act. And it's mainly the millennials, because that's who a lot of this stuff is after. But think about it. When I was younger, I remember my mother watching her soaps, her shows, and I can say, almost every one of my friends or everybody that I know my age could say the same thing about their mothers. That was just a common thing that everybody did, and nobody put too much thought behind it. It would be, something you shouldn't watch. It's funny that they based all that stuff on your emotions, like, oh, I want that guy, but I can't have him, and oh, that secret touch or that forbidden kiss that they get, and it gets their emotions all riled up, and women would be like, oh, I can't miss him, because back then you couldn't record this stuff. You didn't have Netflix, you had to watch it at that time. So you saw this stuff, and that had a grip on some fathers, but mostly mothers across the nation. And that was the indoctrination of where I noticed a big, looking back now, I noticed where that was where it really catapulted us into this next generation. Like I was saying before, the age of Aquarius, the fifth age. So anyway, if you look back, you can watch. We had the 80s, we had the soap operas, and then in the 90s, we had The Simpsons and Married with Children and Color Me Bad, or I'm sorry, not Color Me Bad, that was a music group, In Living Color and stuff like that, where they would push the envelope just a little bit more, just a little bit more. And then, the next stage was like South Park, where, it was just really getting gross. It was really starting to be where there was no limit to the foulness, the limit of degradation that was going on in these shows, to where now it's just flat out pure evil. I mean, if you guys pray for stuff, it'll come. God will give you gifts if you're truly, wanting it. Well, and one thing I said in another video, but that I had prayed for before, was it's like the spirit of discernment, the way to be able to feel how, if something is, like, to be able to see how the world works and how evil works in this world. Like, take the last 6,000 years on Earth, okay? Just say the last 6,000 years on Earth. Satan has started his web of lies in the Garden of Eden, and that's 6,000 years. So just guess. I don't know how many years. Nobody really knows, but just guess 6,000 years. That's 6,000 years of lies and deception that Satan has been able to weave into society. Well, I've been alive for 42 years, so I don't have a lot of chance of beating the deception that's out there because of Satan and his minions. But I see it. I see it plain as day. It's scary. It's not something I necessarily enjoy or I'm bragging that I have, because more often than not, it's very sad and depressing, and I don't enjoy it. But it also gives me this ability to enlighten you guys on the way I see things, because, it's just, I don't know how people can't see it. I don't know how it's not flat out obvious to everybody. And like I said, the dumbing down of America, the dumbing down of society. If you would go ask the kids right now who won whatever game last week, or the stats of the Super Bowl from 6 years ago, what video game's out, what happened in the entire Lord of the Rings, and anybody could tell you, but would they be able to tell you a Bible verse or where we're at in Bible prophecy? Can you tell us anything? Like, ask yourself, what do you know about the Bible compared to what you know about culture? Say pop culture, today's pop culture. You know more songs from the radio than you do, say, from church. And I'm not bashing you because I was getting, that's right on the path I was on before too. And like I said, all the stuff that I see is the stuff I want you guys to see. I'm not saying you're not good because you don't see this stuff. I want to tell you about it so you can see it. I'm not bashing anybody. And now with like Netflix, it's just, yeah, Netflix is just, I can only watch some TV shows. I'm getting to where I'm getting rid of all my movies. I have gotten rid of all of well, we're not listening to any music anymore that isn't Christian. Half the time, or most of the time, I'm listening to YouTube. And if you think I'm just listening to idiots on YouTube, I'm not. YouTube is not that anymore. YouTube is a very good place to get information. So, well, at least up to now it is. There's a lot of good stuff out there, and I listen every day, all day as I'm working. I listen to a headphone, and when I'm listening, I listen to preachers, preachers from even the 90s. I listen to this stuff. I listen to what these guys said that was coming, and sure enough, they pretty much hit the nail on the head because a lot of this stuff is just, bam, coming down hard, just like they said they would. And America is just, it's going right down where they want it to. So things aren't good, guys. Like, we have been indoctrinated into the way Hollywood tells you to run your family. And these guys that are telling you how to run your family, when they're on TV dressed nicely, and they talk all professional and smart and intelligent, but when they go home, it's a whole different story. And a lot of times, like with Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they wouldn't let their kids have the computers that they work on because they know they're dangerous. So, I mean, the kid, when these people go home, they make sure that they keep their family as far away from this stuff as they can because they know what's going on. I mean, it's a trickery. I mean, Satan's a deceiver. He's a trickster. He's going to do whatever he has to do to trick you. And like, I was letting this Hollywood fool me for a while to where I believed like as long as I was on a certain path, I could still slide and do certain things that weren't biblical. And I started to let that guide my thoughts. So don't feel like I'm just bashing you. I'm sorry. I was trying to tell you that when all these kids are getting sacrificed, you hear about all these sacrifices that are supposedly going on. You say, well, where are all these kids coming from? Because, yeah, there's a lot of kids that get abducted off the streets, but you never hear this SRA, satanic ritual abuse, satanic ritual crimes. And one reason why, and if you go and listen, research it, it's out there that people that are in the cults, satanic cults, they have ladies that bear babies, however you want to say it, they create babies purely for ritual purposes, to kill them. And they have ways of getting rid of them. And these people are in the police, the government, everywhere. So they are all, that's why you never hear about it. Because this is like the most well-hidden plan when you're not looking for it. Like, Satan's done a very good job at hiding this stuff. And like another thing that I have that's proof is the Johnny Gosch story. And that's spelled Gosch, I believe. I'm pretty sure that is Johnny Gosch. He was abducted back in the 80s. He was raped, taken up to Bohemian Grove, raped again, taken to the White House, raped some more, flown around the world, raped, just continually raped. They made him and some other guys where they would chase kids through the woods to hunt them down, to kill them. You can research this stuff. This was like a fairly big story in the news and everything when he vanished. And he's still alive, at least he was, last I know. He was actually in the White House in the press conference. You can look it up, it's there. This is all true. Even Bush Reagan era, they had a call boy thing where they were using the credit cards from the White House to use for call boys for prostitutes. It's out there. Just go look. I'm not kidding. Like, this is flat out, honest to goodness, true stuff that I'm telling you. All you have to do is search for it. And another thing that happens. So when somebody writes a book like The Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter movie is made, or Metallica makes a CD, or a country singer makes a CD, TV shows, whatever, they take the masters, the original copies of whatever, the book, the music, the CD, whatever. They have these altars, it's like a church altar, and these music company, these executives, or they're the offices, these music businesses, they have these special rooms where they have altars. And they're engraved into the floor, like, say, a pentagram and some sigils, some marks. And when they take the master to this, say, Green Day album, they'll take the master into the altar, and they actually will pray demons into this master of whatever it is, that these demons will attach themselves and give this person, whoever listens to the music, reads the book, watches the movie, any of this stuff, they pray these demons into it, so this will attach to your family, to you and your family, to your household. Every time you watch a scary movie, it doesn't matter what it is really, as long as it comes from Hollywood or whoever evil, it's got something attached to it. And then people wonder well, I go to church, but I just can't figure out why all these bad, evil things keep happening to me. And because you're not living the way we're supposed to live. I don't. I mean, I try. I'm doing better, a lot better, but I still got a ways to go. I still watch, and I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. I'm not really trying to. I screwed a lot of things up in my life. This isn't one of those things I want to screw up. So, not only that, but like every time you see these guys, okay, let me tell you how. I can't. I had to tell you this. It's gross, but I gotta tell you. You can, again, look it up. A lot of this stuff came out of the WikiLeaks. So, like, if you want to know where I got my stuff, WikiLeaks is flat out that's flat out just where they took the emails and they're showing them to you. They straight up took them. This isn't somebody's hearsay. This is straight from the source. But like Lady Gaga, she bathes in blood. When they do their things on the Super Bowl halftime show, or these videos that they make, go back and watch them. You'll see it now that I'm telling you. They're all like rituals. And Gaga, Lady Barf Bag, she's just disgusting. There's a lady, Brina Abramovich, I think her name is. Well, she's part of the John Podesta, Hillary Clinton, WikiLeaks email scandal. But part of that they were involved with was this lady, she did spirit cooking. Look it up. Spirit cooking, and again, I apologize to have to tell you this, but this is what it is. The spirit cooking is another satanic ritual that these guys do. A lot of them are politicians, but they cook with urine, feces, menstrual blood, semen, And a couple other things I don't really remember. Probably best that I don't, because it's just disgusting. They eat this stuff, guys. They eat it. They swim in it. Lady Gaga takes a bath in blood. They believe they get power. I'll tell you this because this is the big reason why people don't know why these things happen. But one reason why do they do these ritual abuses is that, okay, so this is an Aleister Crowley thing. All this happens in Hollywood, but they say that the rape and murder of a young boy is the best of all kids, and it's called blood sugar sex magic. Ever heard that? It sounds familiar. I think that was on like a CD. Yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Remember their Red Hot or the blood sugar sex magic? Yeah, that's a real satanic ritual where they rape and murder a young boy. The more torturous and vulgar and violent they can make the torture before he dies, the worse they can make it, the more power and energy they receive from the ritual. But not only that, when the little boy is, basically just the moment where he's dying, the blood or the brain is getting full of like adrenaline, and it's like a mix of like DMT and adrenaline. It's these chemicals in the brain, and it flows into the blood, so that when they kill the boy, they do it with anybody, but when they kill the boy, that's the best. They get the most, and it's like a drug because it's called adrenochrome. Look it up. They drink this adrenochrome, and it makes them feel superhuman. It probably does make them superhuman, at least for the time being. Obviously, there's got to be something awesome behind it for these idiots, these disgusting people. People. I'm going to make this flat out and clear right now. I have people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't say scum about Bernie Sanders because he's a person." Okay, yeah, these are all people, right? And these people all made this decision. They made their bed and they're going to lie in it. So if they're a pedophile or if I feel that they're scum, that's my opinion. I have a right to it. Do I want anything bad to happen to them? Yeah, I kind of do. I shouldn't probably. I know that's not the biblical thing, and I'm working on it. But like you guys, if you knew the stuff that I knew, you would wonder why I'm not out on a rampage right now. So this stuff's coming to an end. YouTube and all this stuff is coming to an end where you're going to get this information. They don't want this information out. YouTube is demonetizing videos from people left and right, Christian videos. I don't think too many other videos that are, that have any actual content that could be life-saving, probably get demonetized like the ones that are getting now because they just don't want this stuff out there. So please help me get my stuff out there while I still can. Help me get subscribers and likes and shares on my videos. I'm going to keep this stuff coming for you guys. Just